end up meeting the same person or going around the other side. It's really, they're both unhealthy, Corey. She's got these are very serious signs of emotional problems. She has problems regulating. She undoubtedly was traumatized as a kid. You're just kind of expressing yourself and trying to find yourself. You're getting yourself attached to people that have real serious emotional problems. Just know that.
But,
okay?
It's not like she's cutting herself because she's depressed. She just...
Corey, people cut for all kinds of reasons. There's no good reason for cutting. Okay? There's just not a healthy reason for it.
People just aren't born into this world and just on their own decide they want blood on their partner.
No,
something
it's
had to happen to them,
some
Drew,
heavy stuff. Yeah.
Well, shout out to Liz, Corey,
and Mary.
All right.
Well, if I could shout out to Liz, you'll probably bleep me out.
Right, you don't like Liz.
Oh, man.
But hey, Mary, if you're listening, I love you.
All right, Corey, you just take it easy. Be careful. Don't hurt each other.
Well, what do you suggest about
I suggest
you strike me as someone that would be into men.
No, he doesn't, actually. But I would suggest you don't do the cutting. That's what I would suggest. You find other ways to experience each other together without things that are so extreme.
All right, we're going to go to a break. Craig Ferguson is here. When we come back, I want to ask you about your Vegas shows coming up at the Orleans.
Really? Can we talk about cutting some more?
If you want to.
I feel so vanilla all of a sudden.
Did you have piercings or anything?
I had my ear pierced. That was back when your ear was pierced. Now people have all sorts of... Yeah, no, I didn't have,
neck.
No.
Bone in your neck or anything?
Just my ear, just a ear. That was all it was back in the day. Now you can't move for piercings.
Right.
I don't know. I couldn't keep up if I was a kid now.
Now you have to get like shrapnel under your...
Yeah, no, it's bad. People getting, the ears put on their arms and stuff.
You were a drummer, though, in punk rock bands, right?
Sure, yeah. But that was punk rock. That was 30 years ago. If you spat at someone and wore a trash bag, you were an outlaw. Nowadays it's a completely different thing.
It's all bar.
Really a lot. Really a lot.
Don't answer this now, please, but I want to know how you go from a drummer in a punk rock band to comedy and coming to the States and why you gave up music and all that kind of stuff. And if you knew the Sex Pistols, and I want to know all that good stuff. Is that okay when we come back?
Right. Yeah, sure.
It's not a great tease, but it's all right. I'm just kidding. We'll be back in a minute with Craig Ferguson on Loveline.
800-LOVE-191.
Loveline.
All right, welcome back to Loveline. Striker Dr. Drew, and Craig Ferguson is here. He's got a TV show with his name on it, which is on at 12:30 Monday through Friday on CBS, and hanging in here at Loveline. And I know Drew and I have been talking about this, how excited we are to have you here.
Well, thanks very much. I'm very excited to be here. This is a very good show. This is like this is a proper grown-up show. It's not a nice show. My show is just, a couple of stupid wigs. And you deal with issues here. I come out and, cheeky monkeys and that's it. That's all I do.
We talk about a variety of things here. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. Thank God Drew is here to save us every single
night. Drew's very smart. Whenever, actually, you know what, I got to say, whenever there's occasionally we do shows where there's something very big in the news or something very dangerous, or the night my father died, I remember you came on.
I'll never forget that.
I always go to Drew because you are the one guy, particularly in the field of addiction. I have never heard anyone, and I have a great deal of experience as an alcoholic and an addict, I have never heard anyone from the medical world or from the media speak as in an informed way about it like you do. Most of what I hear is just utter tripe.
It's nonsense. Yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Like a cup of hot tea and pull yourself up.
My God.
Crazy.
Or take some of this medicine.
Yeah, that's right. Here's some medicine for your medicine. It's like somebody said to me once, like, you're an alcoholic. If they had a pill to cure alcoholism, would you take it? I go, sure, I'd take 100 a day and steal cars to get more. And I do exactly that. They've already got that pill. They've got that
pill. It's in a bottle.
Yeah, it's crazy. Or you can chop it up and snort it in lines.
Yeah.
John Larroquette was on the show tonight, actually, and he was saying that he said his experience with cocaine was that it only just helped you drink more. For him, that's really what it was.
Lots of those patients.
That was cocaine for me as well. Yeah. I thought cocaine was. I thought it was
kept you up, kept you drinking.
It was an aid. It was a kind of like drinker's helper. It's like it was like for helping gravy.
Like hamburger helper,
something like that.
Helper.
Drinker's helper, right? Alky helper.
That's right. No, even though I really do know this disease deeply, haven't spent a lot of time in it, but
sure.
But I get humbled all the time by you know, the normie head has trouble superimposing itself on the addict head sometimes, or if you're whatever I am, and I get involved with my partner's a recovering guy, and he's just like boom, boom, boom. He just can't BS a BSer, you know what I mean? Right. I get sucked in a little bit to people's stuff and their pain and their which they need. They need that. They need somebody empathizing and listening. But if you don't watch it, pretty soon you forget that they drag you in. They drag you in, and you forgot to tell them, by the way, let's talk about the alcohol for a second. Let's just talk about that.
Well, that's what when they said to me, what's the difference between an alcoholic and a junkie? It's like an alcoholic will steal your purse and then, you know, cry about it and say, I'm really sorry for months and months. A junkie will steal your purse and then help you look for it.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes.
I mean, there are those subtle differences, but they're in there like that.
Drew, I have a question for you, then one for Craig. Do you think you're at the top of your game? Do you think this radio show in dealing with people in BS via the phone has helped you with your job?
My charge nurse at the hospital tells me that all the time, because I'll just lean forward. I don't know where the hell comes out of my mouth. I'll just go, you were just full of ass.
Full of sludge?
You're just full of ass. I can't say it. I'll just go, you were just full. Please. Who are you talking to? I don't know where it comes from. I don't know why I know it. But there's a part of my brain I can just rely on. And addicts, other alcoholic addicts, have that thing going too.
Sure, yeah.
And I don't know why I've developed it. It's like a muscle I've developed, and I can just trust whatever comes out of my mouth when I'm around those guys.
I don't think that, you know, sober alcoholics or sober junkies or people who are in recovery or who have recovered are necessarily, all they have is an empathy. That's all they have. That's all you're going to have. And anyone can develop an empathy. All you have to do is pay attention.
Well, but you know, it's tough for people. But before you can do that, it's so interesting you would say that. I absolutely agree with you. But that my work is getting people to enter the frame of just being with another person.
Yeah.
They won't do it because of trauma, or they'd rather drink or whatever. Or just they're not.
Sure.
And see, the hardest part for me is getting them just to enter that frame. Because then, if they pay attention, they'll build empathy.
I've got to say as well, I remember when I was trying to get sober, it took me about 3 years to get a year of sobriety. And what happened was that...
I hope everyone caught that.
3 years it took you to get a full year of sobriety.
3 years, I kind of bounced around with it a little bit. But the trouble was, once I knew, and this was the craziest thing, once I knew I was an alcoholic, I couldn't drink that away. It haunted me. It chased me around. And it was horrible. And so accepting that in whatever way that anyone does, even if they keep drinking, and many people do, knowing it chases you, it haunts you, man. It's creepy, it's weird, it won't go away. And the only way out is that hard walk down that road.
Right, and of course alcoholics love hard work. They love emotional work. They love that stuff.
That's right. Difficult conversation. Especially Scottish ones.
Oh, the best. And no Scottish alcoholics track. I want you to understand that. It's so rare.
Such a rare deal.
But the other thing, and then you quickly find the magic of service. Too, That when people find that's the secret.
Pass it along. Give it away to keep it.
Craig, how long have you been sober then? You said it took you 3 years to get a year. Now, how long has it been?
That's a myth.
A year and a half. No, 15 and a half years.
50? Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think if because of your sobriety that the energy you had got you to be successful? If you would have, were you close to, was it such a low point in your life that said?
Yeah, I think that any kind of success, any kind of being alive, really, that I have now is due to what happened to me on the 18th of February 1992 when I quit drinking, and I think that there was a lot. I was very good, like many people. I'm very good at discussing. I was a good alcoholic in bars. I could discuss the merits and demerits and the talking about it and if you drink this and I'll just have a beer and why can't you and on all of that BS. And what happens is that when you take that one act, stop pouring the stuff down your fat neck. That's when life took off for me. But it's frightening because what happens is when you stop drinking, I had drank for about the same amount of time as I've been sober. I drank for about 15 and a half years. And what happens is you get used to the crushing disappointment of being an active alcoholic. That feels like normal.
That's normal, yeah. That becomes normal. In fact, it feels like you're dying. Yeah, it feels like you're dying when you come out of that.
That's right. It's very, very freaky. What I did was, as well, and this is why it took me 3 years to get a year. in the story Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I read that story by Robert Louis Stevenson, who may or may not have been an alcoholic, but he was a Scottish writer, which is another way of saying it.